to introduce his question, number 11.
Thank you, Dáil Éireann. Minister, I think it's time to sound the emergency bells about leader funding. This is a programme that's supposed to end at the end of 2020, which is now next year. It's a €250 million programme, but to date, the figures that we have for the last part of 2018 is 38 million spent and only 13.6 million of that on actual projects. So can you give me the most up-to-date figures that your department has in relation to leader expenditure at the end of 2018? And can you outline your plans? It comes back to discussion we had earlier, allocation versus expenditure.
Project expenditure under the current leader programme commenced in 2017, following the signing of funding agreements in the second half of 2016 with a majority of local action groups who deliver the programme throughout the country. To date, 1,644 projects with a grant value of over 55.8 million have been approved for leader funding by the LAGs. A further 355 projects requesting funding in excess of 22 million are at various stages in the approval process. Project payments have increased significantly in the last year as approved works are completed and project promoters submit claims for payment. Approximately 13.6 million has been spent on projects since the commencement of the programme up to the 14th of January this year. Of this total, more than 12.5 million of project expenditure was incurred in 2018, compared to just under 700,000 in 2017. These figures clearly demonstrate the scale of the increase in project activity under leader last year. The table, which accommodates my reply, provides details of the project expenditure incurred in 2018 in each LAG's area. I am confident that the progress now being made by the LAGs in approving projects, along with the administration improvements introduced by my department over the last year, will result in a continued increase in project approvals and payments under the leader programme during 2019.
Thanks, Minister. We've had these assurances before, and I welcome the increase in expenditure on projects during 2018. You say there's 1,644 projects worth 55.8 million. When is it anticipated that that money will be drawn down? Will it be during 2019, during 2020? And do you envisage at this stage, with only 2 more or less years to go, that there will be an extension to the leader programme? And what is the final date, in your view, that LAGs will be able to draw down money in the context of this particular programme? And finally, are you concerned that the delays in actually spending money, as opposed to approving money, will affect our chances of a new leader programme post-2020?
No, negotiations are already taking place in relation to the new leader programme, and I would hope that in the leader programme this time, in every other programme there has been a gap. And I would hope that this time, and it's something that at government level I will be pushing, to make sure that that gap is not left there again, that there would be a continuation of the scheme. In relation to the drawdown of funding, and you know this, as the approvals are being made, when they come in with their receipts and the work done, they get paid. There is no delay in that. Now, as I said in my reply, there has been a major improvement in relation to 2 years ago. I mean, we had only 700,000 of expenditure. Last year we had 12.5 million, and I expect that to ramp up again this year. Now, it's expected that 80% of the project budget will be approved by the local action groups by the end of 2019, and further funding can be allocated to projects up to the end of 2020. And project promoters have a further 3 years. They have a further 3 years to complete the proposed works and submit claims for payments.
As the Minister, I just wanted the team Ballina, of course, are doing their level best. They can only deal with what's coming into them. And again, you're using the approval word. It's super to approve it, but it needs to be drawn down. So what changes are you going to make? I welcome your plans to have a seamless transition to a new leader programme. That's essential. But what changes will you make to a new programme to ensure that we don't have this difficulty in terms of drawing down approved funds?
Already, Deputy, we have made, I think it was 32 changes into the existing scheme, and we have certainly made it easier in relation to applications, in relation to supports for the groups that are applying there for leader. And To be honest with you, I think the scheme is working better now because of the changes that we made. You can see the improvements in relation to the amount of allocations, and you can see the amount of allocations that are actually coming down the line. So look, I'm happy now that the scheme is working better than it was. I have done, as Minister, what I can do in relation to the amount of changes that they're looking for. I suppose the big issue now is the approvals have been approved. It's a matter for the promoters and the people that have got the grant aid to actually do the work and draw down the funding. And it's a bit like you said earlier, to be fair, and you were fair about it. It's a bit, I can only deal with the issues that I have to deal with. I dealt with the issues in relation to the logjam that was there. I made it easier for them to implement the LEADER programme. The funding is now being allocated, but they have to spend and they have to go out there and to spend. And to be fair to the department and to be fair to everybody involved, we're paying as the receipts come in. And I have to be careful, Deputy, I have to be very careful, and you know this, like we have had many programmes that were in many difficulties, and I'm still every day getting queries about grant aid that has been granted, where there has been...
You have to move on, Minister, please.
Sorry.
There are other members. Deputy Pat Deering is 30 seconds.